Hello everyone. Today we are looking at the page 6 of this book, the Eric Taylor Music Theory and Practice, Grade 1. So this page is about notes on the stave. So the stave is what's written here. Let's choose this, stave here. And if you don't know what that means, that is these 5 lines here. The 5 lines that we draw notes on. So in American, I think it's called staff. Well, I'm sure it's called staff. So I'm going to rub this out. We're going to learn about notes on the stave. So here we've got, it says the easiest notes. The easiest notes to draw is the semibreve, in American whole note. It is simply an oval, this. If you draw it on a line, the line must go exactly through the middle. Here, so just rub these out. So if you draw it on a line, here for instance, it has to go in the middle. This would not be acceptable. But if you're drawing it like this, that's not obvious what note it is. It has to be, so it explains further here. And the semibreve should cover only half the space on either side. For example, this here. So that's correct. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. Okay, gonna rub these out. Yeah. If you draw it in a space, it should fill the space, not overlap the line. So again, we need to be careful when we draw. It has to be within the margins of the line, like this. So to make it clear, I'm just going to drop this here, like this. That's on the space, and this is on the line. I'm going to draw that again, because it wasn't quite in the center. On the line, on the space. So just a quick explanation here, that notes on the stave, which again are these 5 lines that we draw notes on, can only be placed either on a stave, on a space, or on a line, like this. So this would be correct, because it's at the center and it's written on the space. It's clear that is note C. This is inaccurate, that is inaccurate. So let's go to the next bit here. You can draw notes higher or lower than the 5 stave lines by drawing another line or lines, for example, this. So this is what we call a ledger line. And the ledger line is an extra line, because if you think about it, there's only a limited number of notes you can draw on the 5 lines we call stave. So what do you do when you want more notes? So for instance, this would be C5. How would you draw C6 on the piano? So you have to draw 2 extra ledger lines and draw the notes on there. And that's what this is explaining here. So an extra ledger line for extra notes. So each note has its own line, like this. You can't draw an extended line like this through the notes as though it's the stave. So this would be obviously inaccurate. Do not draw a line over the note above the stave. So if you're drawing a note which is sitting on the stave like this, that's still connected to the stave. So you don't need to draw a line above it like this, but you just don't need it because it's already part of the stave here. So this would be correct. Let me just put this out. This is correct. This is inaccurate. This is correct because it's hanging from the line. That's note D. And again, by the virtue of being attached to this line here, it's part of the stave. So you don't need to draw a line under it like this. So this would be correct here, and this is inaccurate. You don't need that extra line there. All right. Next here it's saying when you draw extra lines, they must not slope up or down. They should be the same distance apart as the stave lines. So yeah, this is sloped up. This is sloped down. So these are inaccurate. And also it shouldn't be a distance. If your first line should be the same distance here as you have in between each line. So roughly there, and the other one there. So don't draw a ledger line, for instance, here, when your spaces are this big. That's what this is explaining. So this is correct, these two inaccurate. So here, you can draw more than one line above or below the stave, but in grade 1, only one line above or below the stave is used, so only one. You can draw more lines, obviously, but they're not used at this level. Okay, so only this, only this note and this note, that is A and that is C. So here it's asking, what are these extra lines called? So I'm just going to type it in here. It's called ledger line. Ledger lines. Okay. There we go. Let's see if I can. Oh, get bigger. There we go. Cool. All right. And that's all you need to know for this page, which is page number 6 of the Eric Taylor Music Theory book. Notes on the stave. Okay. Thank you and have a good day.